girls have blinkers on. She hypnotizes, she brainwashes them.
You know what someone told me about brainwashing? They said, what's wrong with a clean brain?
I cover my elbows, my collarbone, my knees, basically dressing modestly.
Shomanigia, which means that, like, I think I already talked about this. we don't touch men.
This is a wig. that's a whole separate kind of category. But basically within that, yeah.
The source for this mitzvah in the Torah is brief but powerful. It's only mentioned once, and it's in Bamidbar when the Torah talks about a sotah, which is a woman who has cheated on her husband and been with another man. And they talk about this whole process that she goes to in order to determine if she is guilty or innocent. And the greatest shame that the woman is put through is that the court will take off her hair covering as a way to humiliate her and change her status. Now, when I read this before I got married, I said, okay, this is a good source for covering a woman's hair. But I feel like only now I really truly understand the implications and the intensity of what happens to this woman. Right now, when I imagine uncovering my hair in public, I have had nightmares about my tichel coming off in public. And because my hair right now is something between me and my husband, it's not for anyone else. It's not for public consumption. So I can't imagine, that humiliation that a woman would feel. So a married woman covers her hair because her hair, once she becomes married, becomes something that's between her and her husband.
Things that I learned, that being modest is covering yourself and you have respect for yourself. When I cover myself in the hottest weather possible, it just makes me feel so proud of myself that when I cover myself, you're saving your full body for all your husband. You don't want to publicize your body. You don't want to show it off. It's all covered. And when you're being modest, it's having full respect and love for yourself. When the way you dress up is the way you present yourself, and if that's the way you want to show, and that's the way you want to talk yourself out, is the way you dress and act. And when you cover yourself, it's everything. It's the way people could see you for who you really love. When you cover yourself, it's like love for yourself.
I really feel that when I cover myself, I'm actually able to reveal myself so much more, because I'm not worried about this being squeezed or this being shown, or someone looking at me in this way. I feel like I can really, truly be myself and actually really be beautiful. And I hope and I wish that all women will someday realize that, being modest is not necessarily looking schlumpy or frumpy. It's actually being the true queen that you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a word that's really important for me when I think of what is the definition of modesty. I feel like it's bringing back dignity for women, that royalty that is to be a woman, that's been so disgraced and so strewn on the floor almost, like you're as good as your body is. And when it comes to modesty, it's not that we're covering up to hide. Those are not the parts that define us. Your body is not what defines you, and just letting your innerness shine through.
Yeah.
And that in turn plays itself back at you, that you start to relate to yourself as the inner beauty that you have.
I think so many people are afraid of losing themselves when they get married. That they're afraid that being one with your soulmate means losing a part of yourself. And I really think that when you start to identify yourself with another person, when you realize, when I hurt myself, I'm hurting someone else, and when I do good, I'm doing good for someone else, and it's all cyclical, in no way do you find yourself so much as when you do that. So the most important thing, I think, is to understand, just to be, that you're the one that said this, that there's no me, there's only we. But that doesn't mean that you're losing a sense of me. It means that you're actually finding the real me. Yeah,
I like that.
What would you say is
The most important thing?
What would you say is the most important thing for marriage?
To build up your spouse, to be their cheerleader, to always be thinking about what can I give to my loved one, what more can I do for them, and I feel like that's marriage. That's called love. And then like underneath that, like the framework of that, you're only going to get to that if you have appreciation and like constantly having gratitude for every little tiny thing.
One of your children is different, and by different I mean gay.
I think that anybody want to speak up, guys? Hello.
What would happen if there was?
It's a theoretical question because I'm trying to think
No,
of.
you're saying something very extreme. Because
is that extreme?
That's very extreme. Because because we're not. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because that is very extreme in this community.
But it definitely exists.
I don't know anybody who is gay. But it doesn't mean that they're not.
I think you're talking about children, and if a child were to do something extreme as our child, and as our children, we love them. The love is a connection, and they're still part of they're still part of who we are.
Going back to, I'm sorry.
So nobody knows anybody in this entire community who ever had a child who expressed themselves as gay or was gay?
I personally no, I don't.
Don't happen to.
But you know what?
And also, it's probably not one of these things that would be publicized in any case. Right. So if someone does have gay tendencies, then I'm sure that they're not broadcasting it.